Hi students, in this session we are going to discuss about the topic aliasing. Aliasing, okay. Simply it is nothing but the effect of undersampling. It is the effect of undersampling. So aliasing occurs due to the effect of undersampling. So today's topic is effect of undersampling, which is nothing but aliasing, okay. So let us consider if the sampling frequency of omega s, so I am representing the frequency in terms of omega. If omega s is less than 2 omega m, okay, that is the highest frequency component, the highest frequency component of the message signal. So omega s is less than 2 omega m. Up to now I explained this in terms of frequency fs. Now I am explained this in terms of omega. You can write this as fs is less than 2 fm also. So in place of this I can write as fs, that is sampling frequency, is less than, in this place of this I can write fs is less than 2 fm, that is sampling frequency is less than twice of the highest frequency component of the message signal. Okay, if the sampling frequency is less than the twice of the maximum frequency component of the highest frequency component of the message signal, then the signal is undersampled. Whenever the omega s value is less than 2 omega m or fs value is less than 2 fm, then the signal is undersampled. Here this fm is the highest frequency component of the message signal and fs is the sampled frequency, okay, sampling frequency. So if omega s is less than 2 omega m, the signal is undersampled. Then whenever the signal is undersampled, in that case x of omega is nothing but spectrum of x of t. So the spectrum of x of t, which is nothing but x of omega, is no longer replicated in excess of omega. So here the x of omega, which is nothing but spectrum of x of t, frequency domain, the frequency spectrum of x of t is no longer replicated in excess of omega. Thus it is not recoverable by low pass filtering. That is, simply we can't recover the original signal by low pass filtering. So here if omega is less than 2 omega m, the signal is undersampled. Then x of omega, the spectrum of x of t is no longer replicated in excess of omega. So this x of omega is not replicated in this excess of omega, sampled version. The spectrum is not replicated in the perfect sample version. So thus it is no longer recoverable by low pass filtering. So we can't recover the original signal. While the omega s is less than 2 omega m or fs is less than 2 fm, we can't recover the original signal x of t. Okay, this effect, that is not able to recover the original signal, this effect in which the individual terms in the equation, so I have the equation of excess of omega, okay, the spectrum of the sample version, excess of omega, I have the equation, that is 1 by t summation n equal to minus infinity x of omega minus n omega s. That is the spectrum equation, the sample signal spectrum equation. So this effect in which the individual terms in the equation overlap. So if we expand this, I will get the individual terms. If those individual terms will overlap, that will give us aliasing. The overlapping will give us aliasing. Okay, this effect in which the individual terms in the equation overlap is referred to as aliasing. So if we expand this and if we draw the Fourier spectrum, then there we will get the overlapping. See, I will show you like this. Here I will show you. If you go for the drawing the spectrum, see this one, this part. Here the overlapping takes place. So that will cause aliasing. Simply this effect in which the individual terms in the equation excess of omega equal to 1 by t summation equal to minus infinity x of omega minus n omega s overlap. The individual terms in this equation overlap is referred to as aliasing. So this overlapping, this condition is nothing but our aliasing. Okay. Now, the process of a spectral overlap is also called frequency folding effect. The process of spectral overlap. So here is the overlap of the spectrum. This is called frequency folding effect. Frequency folding effect. If the overlapping takes place like this, then we can't able to get the original signal, as the sample frequency is less than the twice of the maximum frequency component of the message signal. Or if the condition of omega s is less than 2 omega m, then the aliasing will take place. That is, here the overlapping will take place. This overlapping, and this condition is nothing but undersampling. So in this undersampling, we get the overlapping of the spectra, okay, that will cause aliasing. With this, we can't able to get the original signal, okay. Simply, if you want to define aliasing, the effect in which the individual terms in equation xs of omega equal to 1 by t summation equal to minus b into x of omega minus n omega s overlap is referred to as aliasing, as shown in the diagram, okay. Aliasing, clear? Now, in this, the process of spectral overlap, this process of spectral overlap is also called frequency folding effect. This may also be called as frequency folding effect. And the aliasing occurs, this aliasing occurs in the cases, first one, when the signal is not band limited to a finite range. This aliasing occurs if the signal is not band limited to a finite range. So if the signal is not band limited, that is Fs is less than 2 FM, it is not band limited, it is not band limited. Or when the sampling rate is too low, when the sampling rate Fs is less than 2 FM. So simply here aliasing occurs in two cases. First one, the signal is not band limited to a finite range. If the signal is not band limited, then aliasing will occur. Or the sampling rate is too low, or if the sampling rate is too low, then also aliasing will occur. So simply we can specify this: if the sampling frequency is less than twice of the maximum frequency component of the message signal, then the aliasing will occur. If you want to write it, we can write like this: the signal is not band limited to a finite range, then the aliasing occur. Or the sampling rate is too low, then also the aliasing will occur. In general, real-time signals are not band limited, okay. So most of the signals are not band limited. For this, we have to go for band limiting by using a filter before the sampler, okay. By this, we can band limit the signal, clear? In general, the continuous time signals are filtered before sampling for all practical purposes. The continuous time signals are filtered before sampling for all practical purposes, just to meet the band limited criterion closely. So just to meet the band limited criterion, all the continuous time signals are filtered before sampling for all practical purposes. For all practical purposes, just we will filter the continuous time signal before sampling, just to meet the band limited criteria, okay. Now, what are conditions to avoid this aliasing? How can we avoid aliasing? Simply, if Fs is greater than 2 FM, we can avoid this one, okay. So see, to avoid aliasing, first one, x of t is strictly band limited. So opposite these two. Here, to occur aliasing, the signal is not band limited. So to avoid aliasing, the signal x of t is strictly band limited. It should be strictly band limited. And next, the sampling frequency is greater than twice of the maximum frequency component of the message signal. Here, sampling aliasing occurs, the sampling rate is too low. That is, we have to increase the sampling rate. That means the sampling frequency is greater than 2 FM. So Fs is greater than 2 FM. So for aliasing to occur, the signal is not band limited to a finite range and sampling rate is too low. So to avoid aliasing, what you have to do? The signal x of t is strictly band limited, and Fs is greater than 2 FM. So how can you strictly band limit? So we can band limit the signal by using an anti-aliasing filter before the sampler. So by using an anti-aliasing filter before the sampler, I can strictly band limit. So we going to get the aliasing. So I can explain this by the help of a diagram. So here there is an anti-aliasing filter. I have to give the signal x of t to the anti-aliasing filter, then it will band limit. It will have a range of frequencies. It's simply a low pass filter. It's a low pass filter. So it will allow the low frequency signals and it is a sharp cut off frequencies. Okay. So this x of t is given to an anti-aliasing filter, simply a low pass filter. So that output is given to the sampler for sampling. Then our x of t will be converted into x of n, that is x of t is continuous and x of n discrete. Our continuous time signal is converted to discrete time signal, that is nothing but sampling. So before giving the signal to the, so see, this is considered as sampler. Before giving the input signal to the sampler, we have to pass through it as anti-aliasing filter, that is nothing but a low pass filter. Here low pass filter is used for band limiting a signal before sampling. So here we will use low pass filter. Okay, then it will strictly band limited, then it will be sampled. Whenever the signal is strictly band limited, then it will avoid the aliasing, and I have to choose the sampling frequency greater than twice the maximum frequency component or the highest frequency component of the message signal. So we have to choose the sampling frequency greater than the twice the highest frequency component of the message signal. So while doing like this, you can avoid the aliasing. So this is the explanation about aliasing or the effect of undersampling. See, here I explained you the topic of effect of undersampling. The effect of undersampling is nothing but aliasing. Okay, so this effect occurs whenever omega is less than 2 omega m or fs is less than 2 fm. So the signal is undersampled. Whenever the signal is undersampled, there the overlapping takes place and gives rise to aliasing. That is, the individual terms in this equation overlap, which will be referred to as aliasing. Okay, the process of spectral overlap. The process of spectral overlap is also called as frequency folding effect. Mainly this aliasing occurs of 2 points. The first one is signal is not band limited and the sampling rate is too low. So to avoid the sampling, to avoid the aliasing, the signal x of t is strictly band limited and the sampling frequency will be greater than 2 fm. So to strictly band limit the signals, we use anti-aliasing filter. That is, a low pass filter is used for band limiting the signal before sampler. After band limiting, we have to give that signal to the sampler. Simply the signal x of t is given to a low pass filter, nothing but anti-aliasing filter, and the output of that one will be given to a sampler. Then we can avoid the aliasing. So this is the complete explanation about aliasing. Okay, next we will discuss about some important terms in this sampling, that is Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval. Okay, so we will see what is Nyquist rate and what is Nyquist interval. Okay, now we will discuss about Nyquist rate of sampling and Nyquist interval. Simply Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval. First I will explain about Nyquist rate. So the topic is Nyquist rate of sampling. So the Nyquist rate of sampling is the theoretical minimum sampling rate. Nyquist rate of the sampling is the theoretical minimum sampling rate. Theoretical minimum sampling rate at which a signal can be sampled and still be reconstructed from its samples without any distortion. That means Nyquist rate of sampling is the theoretical minimum sampling rate at which a signal can be sampled. So at this sampling rate, we can sample the signal can be sampled and still be reconstructed from its samples without any distortion. So this is the minimum sampling rate at which a signal can be sampled and reconstructed from its samples without any distortion. So first, with this sampling rate, I can convert the given signal into the sample signal. That is, this is the minimum sampling rate at which the given input signal can be sampled. So I converted the continuous time signal into discrete time signal, made into samples, and I can get back can recover the original signal from its sample version without any distortion. So if we do the sampling with the sampling rates, then I can sample the signal and I can reconstruct the original signal back without any distortion. So that is nothing but Nyquist rate. So Nyquist rate of the sampling is the theoretical minimum sampling rate at which the signal can be sampled and still be reconstructed from its samples without any distortion. So if we sample the signal with the sampling rates, then the signal can be sampled and we can recover back the original signal from the samples without any distortion. That is nothing but the Nyquist rate, and the value of this Nyquist rate is always equal to 2 FM. That is the minimum sampling rate, or the minimum sampling frequency is 2 FM. That is, our sampling frequency is at least 2 FM. That is, it is at least 2 FM or greater than 2 FM. Then I can recover back the original signal from the samples without any distortion. Here in 2 FM, the FM is the maximum frequency component. FM is the maximum frequency component present in the signal, or the highest frequency component that is present in the given signal. So in the given message signal or the input signal, the highest or the maximum frequency component present is nothing but the FM. A signal sampled at greater than Nyquist rate. A signal sampled at greater than Nyquist rate. Let us consider it is 2 FM. Greater than Nyquist rate means this Fs is greater than 2 FM. Then that condition is said to be oversampled. That is oversampled. A signal sampled at greater than Nyquist rate is said to be oversampled, and a signal sampled at less than Nyquist rate. Less than Nyquist rate is Fs is less than 2 FM. That is said to be undersampled. Simply, if Fs is greater than 2 FM, then I can say that is oversampled. If Fs is less than 2 FM, that is undersampled. So in undersampled we will get the aliasing. Okay, I already explained the effect of aliasing just a few minutes back. Okay, now, so you have to get oversampled, undersampled. If Fs equal to 2 FM, it is perfect sampling. It is perfect sampling. So a signal sampled at greater than Nyquist rate is said to be oversampled, and a signal sampled at less than Nyquist rate is said to be undersampled. So this is explanation about Nyquist rate. Now we will move on to the Nyquist interval. Nyquist interval. So Nyquist interval is the time interval between any two adjacent samples. So Nyquist interval is the time interval between any two adjacent samples when the sampling rate is Nyquist rate. When the sampling rate is Nyquist rate. So Nyquist interval is nothing but the time interval. So this is a time interval between any two adjacent samples. So in the frequency spectrum we have two adjacent samples. So the time interval between any two adjacent samples when the sampling rate is Nyquist rate. So if you sample the signal with the Nyquist rate, sample the signal with this Nyquist rate, then Nyquist interval is the time interval between any two adjacent samples. So I did the sampling with the Nyquist rate. Then in that samples, the time interval between two adjacent samples is nothing but the Nyquist interval. So Nyquist interval is the time interval between any two adjacent samples when the sampling rate is Nyquist rate. Simple, very very important. Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval and Nyquist rate. So first, Nyquist interval is the time interval. That is the time interval between the any two adjacent samples when the sampling rate is Nyquist rate. Here the sampling rate is Nyquist rate. If the sampling rate is Nyquist rate, then we can reconstruct the signal from the samples without any distortion. In that cases, the time interval between any two adjacent samples is nothing but the Nyquist interval. Okay, this is about Nyquist interval, and already explained you about the Nyquist rate. Now I will see the equations for Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval. The Nyquist rate is represented with f suffix n, which is equal to 2 FM, and the units are Hz. So already said the Nyquist rate is always equal to 2 FM, where FM is the maximum frequency component of the signal. The maximum frequency component present in the signal, that is a message signal. And Nyquist interval, that is time, that is inversion of Nyquist rate. That is the inversion of Nyquist rate, that is 1 by Fn, that is equal to 1 by 2 FM. Because it is a time, it is in units or seconds. So Nyquist rate is represented with f suffix n, which is equal to 2 FM Hz, and Nyquist interval is equal to 1 by Fn. That is inverse of Nyquist rate. And that will be equal to 1 by 2 fm seconds, where edges are units of Nyquist rate and seconds are units of Nyquist interval. So this is the explanation about Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval, okay, of sampling. Okay, so in this class I explained you about two topics. One is effect of undersampling, that is nothing but aliasing. So I explained completely about aliasing. So when the aliasing occurs and what you have to do to avoid the aliasing, and then I will explain the Nyquist rate and then Nyquist interval, and finally I had given the equations for Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval. So these are very useful while doing the problems. So in the problems they asked you to find out the Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval. So these are the formulas for finding the Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval. With this I am finishing today's class. Okay, we will see some other topics in the next class. Thank you one and all.